Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. Many individuals would agree that Will Smith exploded in Hollywood quicker than a rocket. While we knew him as a rapper, the change to top-notch Hollywood star truly feels like it was finished in a matter of seconds, practically like there's something vile pushing it from the video we've seen. Even Jim Carrey seemed dubious and exhausted. Now reports are coming out that Carrey has approached with surprising disclosures about Smith's quick rising to fame, revealing insight into disputable strategies and tech. Background. It's some succulent stuff. We should make a plunge and see what's truly happening in the background. Hollywood is only yellow en masse, and it truly felt like goodness. This is a truly obvious sign that we're not the club any longer, so everything began during the 94th Institute grants. Jim Carrey got straight to the point when he tossed conceal at the entire catastrophe with Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars when he was out there advancing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Carrey straight up let Gail Ruler on CBS know that he was completely disturbed by the entire scene at the 2022 Oscars. You know, when Smith slapped Rock for telling a wisecrack about Jada Pinkett Smith's hairstyle, considering she manages a loofah, better believe it. Carrey wasn't having any of it after Smith released that eruption at Chris Rock, hollering to keep his significant other's name out of his mouth. But she actually leaves with the Best Entertainer grant for Ruler. For Jim Carrey, that was sufficient to quit keeping down his viewpoints. He directly said he felt debilitated seeing everybody give Smith thunderous applause after that wreck. I was nauseated by the wildly energetic applause. Carrey didn't hold back, calling Hollywood out for being gutless and proposing they'd lost their edge. Apparently, the entertainer saw that activity as validating prior premonitions that Will Smith's ascent may be a result of things he had done to arrive, and that is reasonable why he is as yet being secured, notwithstanding that insurance. Carrey figures Smith ought to have been thrown out of the Oscars without further ado for his dazed second. You don't have the right to stroll up in front of an audience and smack someone in the face cuz they said words. Then Ruler brought up that Chris Rock decided not to include the experts regarding this situation, yet Carrey attested that this choice was exclusively on the grounds that the humorist liked to keep away from the difficulty. He really do need the problem I have for declared tour. In the beginning of today that I was suing Will for $200 million cuz that video will be there. Always it will be universal. Now the inquiry on many individuals' lips after that was might this difficulty at any point be with Will Smith's supposed thunders for the overwhelming majority. Individuals, the explanations for Chris not recording the claim against Will Smith is associated with the supposed power. Will needs to do anything he needs in Hollywood. Obviously the case is that this power was gotten from playing out specific exercises that you certainly don't have any desire to be aware of. For quite a while allegations continued to fly that Will Smith enjoyed in specific ceremonies for power, including gay exercises. We've all heard Poma Wright say it herself. They're both sexually open. They do strange things in their home, and young fellows have left their housing shouting to move away from them in their mentorship on the off chance that it were just Puma Wright. Perhaps we can simply say it's one of those cases. However, as we could see from the clasp toward the starting, even somebody exceptionally near Will Smith, his previous right hand and companion, Bale, has accompanied much additional cursing subtleties. I've seen acts that I need. I strolled in on who's strolling in on him and Dwayne Martin. Okay, Hollywood is the pick up the pace and weight game. Maybe that is the reason Jada chose to avoid him. In the event, you don't know yet. Jada Pinkett Smith, as of late, uncovered the challenges inside her union with Will Smith in a C for NBC News and Today Show, unique attached to her impending journal. Commendable. The Set It Off star shared that she and Will Smith have been dwelling apart, starting around 2016, regardless of keeping a unified front in open appearances 6. Which is quite a while back now. Yes, you all have been. I made a commitment that there wouldn't ever be an explanation for why the hypotheses started to heighten in 2016 because of a notable episode during the Oscars in that year. Chris Rock broadly cooked Jada Pinkett Smith in his talk, and as per Rock, Jada had moved toward him to step down from facilitating the Oscars that year since her significant other Will Smith had not gotten a Best Entertainer designation for his part in the film Blackout. Jay is distraught that her man was not selected for the Blackout. I get it, come clean, I get it, you lash out. She said it's a little unreasonable. Both Jay Pinkett Smith and Will Smith decided to blacklist the service alongside numerous other conspicuous figures in Hollywood because of the apparent absence of variety in the designations, which had ignited the viral #Oscar. So white anyway. Rock ignored Jada's solicitation, keeping in mind that facilitating the Oscars made a joke to her detriment, tending to her blacklist of the service. He said, Pinkett Smith boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's undies. I wasn't welcomed, and he additionally said it was not fair. Will was this great and didn't get assigned. Additionally, it was not fair. Will was paid $20 million for Wild West anyway. Jada had another thing to tell. Jada clarified that the 2016 Oscars episode was settled through a common statement of regret during a call. As per her, she later understood the gigantic strain Chris Rock had probably been under. She was not actually perceiving the degree of tension Chris could have been under at the time. I most likely ought to have called him and gone. Hello, are you okay? And simply know that in spite of the fact that I'm revolting against the Oscars, I truly do hope everything turns out great for you. And I simply believe you should realize that I required some investment to have called him and said that just to contact base. However, his sentiments could have been harmed. Pinkett Smith expressed that after the 2016 Oscar joke, Rock apologized, and I was sorry to him too. Not terrible, but not great either. I really believed that we were so great that the X was covered among us, and we hadn't talked from that point forward until 2022 came. Pinkett Smith guaranteed she additionally got a statement of regret from Rock after the 2022 Oscars quarrel. For what reason do I know such a huge amount about these individuals' marriages? I sort of feel, in a real sense, I sort of feel like I find out more about their marriage than I am familiar with my own damn marriage. Now this stood out for the public, that following slapping, one can put out an expression of remorse. Additionally, individuals have been hypothesizing that this is all a result of the power Will Smith holds. On the off chance that this didn't happen, I wouldn't actually realize about Oscar today. Well, his control isn't simply restricted to the business, but to his significant other too, after their underlying breakup. Jada and Chris worked it out during the call, and Jada accepted. The matter was settled at this point following the 2016 Oscars episode tales about Jada and Will Smith's potential separation, which started coursing in a surprising new development. Chris Rock supposedly asked Jada out on the town. She imparted this disclosure to individuals, accepting that the circumstances had been settled by then. She portrayed how each mid-year report would talk about her and Will Smith getting separated. She said each late spring, every one of the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a separation during one specific summer. Chris Rock expected that they were for sure separating and had chosen to contact her. He communicated his advantage by taking her out. Jada reviewed, and this specific summer, Chris Rock believed that we were getting a separation, so he called me, and fundamentally, he resembled I cherish taking you out, which Jay answered with disarray, asking what do you mean Chris made sense of? Aren't you, and will you get a separation? Jada explained that these were simply bits of hearsay, and there were no separation plans. Chris was shocked by the misconception and lavishly apologized anyway in that very year. Jada and Will were not living together, and this disclosure has, as of late, become known as Jada herself has transparently examined it, filling the developing hypothesis that she and Chris were involved in something during that period in 2016. You and Will concluded that you planned to carry on with totally different lives. It was by her. She and her significant other Will Smith have been driving completely separate. 8 Lives starting around 2016 as uncovered in a meeting with Hodabed, this high-profile Hollywood couple, who secured the bunch in 1997, have recently recognized their times of division and conjugal difficulties, however, never in such unequivocal terms. While it's anything but a conventional separation, Pinkett Smith made sense of for Coat B in a video scrap delivered on Today that it basically looks like a separation in everything except the legitimate desk work. It was anything but a separation on PE. Aper, however, it was a separation, have Hodakbed said, which Pinkett Smith affirmed she likewise uncovered they live independently. Pinkett Smith made sense of why the two never officially declared a partition, I think simply not being prepared at this point, actually attempting to sort out between the two of us how to be an organization, right? And concerning how would we present that to individuals you know. And we hadn't sorted that out. Nansa quickly rushed to make the judgment call that her detachment from Will was connected to her cozy relationship with Chris, given that she clearly settled the issue with a basic telephone call. One individual composed kindly, "Don't shift focus over to others," as overthrows objectives. You don't have the foggiest idea why they got together. You don't have any idea what they went through. You don't have the foggiest idea why they left center around being solid and having sound connections for yourself. Another addition is that she gets off on hauling Will's name through them. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.